Here's why Meghan can't hope for her non-existent children. The exploitation failed. So, in order to discuss this issue, we need to consider the fact that times were different way back when King Charles's two sons were growing up. So Prince William and Prince Harry were seen a lot more often. Access to them was a lot easier thanks to the relative innocence of that time, even with the intrusion of the paparazzi. Then Prince Charles and the late Princess Diana seemed absolutely happy to offer the occasional peek into the lives of their sons. People felt like they knew the young royals, and so they were very popular. Charles and Diana were very proud of their boys, and they wanted to share their progress with the world from time to time, so people saw a lot more photos of them. In general, we knew what they were up to. Now, of course, everything changed once Diana passed away, and then the media backed off, and the royals got to dictate exactly when and where Harry and William would be available for photos and interviews, if any. The media that had bothered Diana knew to back off from the two princes, and they agreed to do that until they turned 21 years old. And even then, both of them had an absolute hatred for the press. This access made them popular with many people, and the royals understand that their kids are going to be interesting to the public. It's part of the deal. So let's fast forward to today and look at Prince William's children that he has with Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Well, they're quite different when it comes to media access. William and Catherine decide when photos can be taken of their three kids, and since Catherine is really amazing at taking photos, usually she's the one to submit a photo or two on the child's birthday. So we get to see their kids when William and Catherine want us to see them, and even then the media knows to keep a distance, most of the time at least. This access, along with the social media accounts, keep the Wales children very popular. George, Charlotte, and Louis are just as popular as William and Harry ever were. William and Catherine appreciate the fact that the country wants to know who their kids are, and of course we want to see them. It is a give-and-take relationship, but it's necessary in a monarchy to know the future heir to the throne. So people see the royal children in the UK when their families decide they should go out in public. But most of the time, they live pretty normal lives, and since the death of Diana, the paparazzi typically respects the privacy of the royal family. When it comes to Prince George, however, it's a whole different story. After all, he is the direct heir to the throne, and so people see him more often. The media does usually pay a bit more attention to him, even though Princess Charlotte also gets a lot of attention thanks to the fact that she is beautiful, and she's also the only princess born to a future monarch in decades. I think Princess Charlotte is very popular because she appears to be very outgoing and confident. Now, Louis is hilarious to watch. He has kept so many people entertained with his attitude. George is a lot more serious, but he's a very good-looking little boy. He knows his future, he knows his destiny, and he is popular thanks to his status. Honestly, I think the royal kids are just as popular as they were when Prince William and Prince Harry were little boys. And when these beautiful children become teenagers, they are gonna melt hearts all over the world. I suspect the three of them are gonna be even more popular than any royal children have ever been. And unfortunately for Meghan, it really depends on which child it is. Princess Beatrice, Princess Eugenie, and to a big extent Harry's invisible kids are kept out of the public eye. Maybe we get to see a photo of them on a birthday or on a holiday or on a special day, if their parents choose to share them with us, that is. Because Prince William's three children are in direct line to the throne, of course they're on display a little more often. William's kids are very popular, if only because we see them more often. It's not really possible, of course, to compare the popularity of the youngest generation to their elders, but I think the Wales kids are at least as popular as their father was when he was a little boy. And if the other children were more in the public eye, I think they would be really popular too. People might scrutinize their parents and take them to task for all their mistakes, but the rule is, you don't criticize or say anything bad about the children. Actually, the British are very good at making these distinctions. The kids are off limits because they are simply children. Or another way of saying it is, if you can't say something nice about the royal children, then just keep your mouth shut. And this is just another reason why I really appreciate those Brits. Furthermore, when the Queen's parents came to the throne, they had a young family, which usually appeals to a larger section of the population. Now, unfortunately, King George VI died when he was very young, and the same thing happened again. The Queen never did anything wrong, and her long reign meant that an elderly gentleman has come to the throne, and it's not exactly a real dream for an advertiser. But the Prince and Princess of Wales are a different story. They are such a dream for perpetuating the image of this wholesome family, which is what the British people have historically found so appealing. The Jubilee and the coronation concerts have given us a chance to see the royal kids in a more casual setting, and they are just so precious. I think they're going to be very popular. But still, they are young kids, and they have got to be protected from press excesses for as long as possible. And youth may be charming, but Charles has made some very important business decisions in the past that have really improved the running of the Duchy of Cornwall. And these smart decisions have really helped out the people who are employed through the duchy. It also secures the financial health of the working royals. Now, if he can do the same for the Duchy of Lancaster, it leaves the financial structure of the monarchy in a much better state. Also, young royal children are always popular with not only people in the UK, but Americans too. And that's the reason I can't fully understand King Charles's rule that only senior royals and their kids are allowed to appear on the balcony. I do hope that His Majesty can back off that rule for a little bit for the Trooping the Colour this year. I hope that he can invite not only the 3 Wales kids and the 2 teenage Edinburgh kids, but also the beautiful Philip's daughters and the 3 Tyndall children too. I assume that little August Brooksbank soon enough is going to be meeting his new sibling, and Sienna Mopelli Mozzi is still a little too young. Of course, the invisible Sussex kids would not make the trip from California, and even if they did, I'm guessing their parents wouldn't let them stand on the balcony anyway because they would worry that somebody might get a photo of them. See, the royals understand that they're bound to be photographed by the media, and certain royal reporters follow them on engagements along with photographers. It is called the Royal Rota. The royal family serves the public in the UK, and as the late Queen said, we have to be seen to be believed. It goes hand in hand with the job, it's just part of it. And as for the royal kids, they're always going to be photographed in the UK. The popularity of the royal family really depends on that. In conclusion, from the coverage that I have come across in the media, it seems like everyone is a big fan of George, Charlotte, and little Louis. Prince William's kids are just as popular with the citizens of the UK as William and Harry were when they were kids. People love watching the little ones grow up and become good people. Harry's kids, though, are probably never going to be popular in the UK. And you, do you agree with me? Please tell me what you think below in the comments section. If you preferred our video this evening, please remember to like and share it with your relatives and friends who need it anytime you want.